We're just getting started, just getting our feet under us. And yeah, we started to really go after some bigger commercial projects. We've been able to win some travel work. We've been able to win some other RFP, bigger city civic projects that have really given us the groundwork to plan to grow. We still do residential. We love working with custom home projects and like digging into the weeds with those one-on-one clients. But ultimately, by getting those 2-3 year contracts where it just has allowed us to hire a team, get people under us. And now that we've done it, as everyone says, you're like, I'll never go back. It's been not just for the flexibility of our team, but also to really have people to share the load with, to walk beside you and grow this thing together, for people to get behind the vision. And
hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Building Scale, specifically the Building Connection series, where I get to connect with people that I meet in either my everyday life or connections through other connections of other connections of other connections. And this one is one of my Oklahoma connections, which is starting to get to know a lot of people in Oklahoma, even though I've only driven through that state. I'll have to go take a pilgrimage out there to meet all my friends that I've now made in the industry. But today's guest, her name is Megan Lopp. She's the CEO and co-founder of Green Couch Design. Her and her husband had this crazy idea, like, hey, let's be entrepreneurs. And from there, it was like, we're just trying to do anything. And like, there was a component where it was like, we're making jewelry out of cement, and then eventually full on architecture firm, which is what they are now, and a whole bunch of things in between there, just to keep driving towards that entrepreneurial dream, which they've made a reality. And they run a really nice business now that it does both commercial as well as residential things, and have even crossed state lines, which is also a really wild thing. So not just in Oklahoma now, also doing projects outside of their home state, which is fun. She's just a spitball of fire and fun, and tells awesome stories, which I love, and is just trying to be an impactful human being, not only to her company and what they're building, but also to other entrepreneurs, which I love, in the communities around her. So this was a fun episode, and shout out to the Oklahoma crew that I'll have to come see y'all. Yep. So enjoy. So Megan, one thing that maybe I didn't ask you, maybe I just totally forgot. What is Green Couch? Why that name? Is it literally you just really, really like green couches, or is it what was that thought process?
Well, everyone's thinking like, oh, is it a fancy couch? We've spent all this money on, and the truth is it was a crappy college couch that my husband got for free.
That's awesome.
That you almost don't want to know the backstories to. So, but it was free. We got it. We'll
history.
Take it.
There's a lot of history.
That's right.
In the couch.
And when we met the Green Couch, while we were engaged, it was kind of where we like dreamed up our life together and what we wanted life to be. And we always from the beginning wanted to build a business, wanted to do something that was collaborative. He had a dad that was an entrepreneur. But I say that, I think he saw the ups and the downs of all of that too. So it wasn't like a big fancy, like, oh, but the freedom that came with that, with home and life, family balance was really important to us. So we were always like, oh yeah, let's, have this dream. So we were literally the day we met, we joked about starting a design firm together. I think at the time it was like, is that going to be, like my background is in graphic design and marketing. So it was like, is this going to be this? Is it going to be that? Just trying to figure out all these things. So the Green Couch became the launching pad for kind of defining what we wanted our life to be, the business, the life, all those things before we got married. So when we came full circle to establishing Green Couch, it was just like Kale was like, we're not doing alphabet soup, and Lopp like Lopp's our last name. So it's not, I don't know, it's just pretty simple, not anything like fancy. So we were like, we're not doing Lopp and Lopp, firm or whatever. He's like, so we, honestly, it was kind of one of those things I was like, I don't know if I like it. Does it sound, professional? And I do think that sometimes, we can overthink it, and it is like, okay, pick a name and run and go. And and establish the brand around that. So I do think we can get in the weeds too much and overthink it. So yeah.
Got it. I love that there was an actual green couch. That's what it would have been very disappointing if you were like, I don't know, we just randomly grabbed a name.
We
I'd be
went
like,
to the
oh, such a
store and there's a
letdown.
green couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, let's talk about a little bit more about that origin story. So hey, we're on this green couch. We want to start a design firm. We want to do this thing.
Yeah.
We got no idea what generally that means. And like, there's lots of variants of that. So where did it start? And then how's it going?
So we got married in 2008 and we both worked professionally in Oklahoma City for different firms. I was working at a branding agency at the time, and it was really cool because we got to be a part of some of the branding for downtown. You know, there was Bricktown, which is kind of what everybody knows, Oklahoma City, but there was these other areas starting to develop. So I got to be a part and see even some of the pre-renderings of, you know, these amazing districts. The Boathouse District, like Rand Elliott was like designing this like amazing architecture that now is definitely on the world stage and is bringing the Olympics to Oklahoma City. It's insane.
Wow.
for river sports. Like, you know, you wouldn't think Oklahoma City would be known for that, but yeah, kayaking, rowing, all these things. It's amazing. So to be a part of the excitement of all that was really, really cool. And then, Kale at the time, my husband was working at an architecture firm, and we both, you know, we're married. We're the young guns, the interns, the working our way up, you know, all the things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but ultimately in 2010, he ended up getting laid off, and so we literally earlier that week we had been like we'd met, and I was kind of like, okay, what we need to draw a line in the sand, you know, we've kind of been like doing our own thing, but just trying to figure out like, do we jump? What does this look like? I think as a husband and wife too, we're trying to figure out like, I was pushing to build something in architecture and design. He's like, I don't want to mess with code, like graphic design. You don't have to do any of the code or like, you know, and even back then he was already struggling with architecture a little bit because he's very function first in how he designs and like working as a team and all this stuff and seeing not AI at the time, but seeing some of what was happening in like code was dictating so much of design in specific industries that at times it's like, what, you know, are we really getting to have fun? And so he, you know, we're both just trying to figure out like where we wanted to be and how all that worked. So, but literally I was like, we met for lunch. I was like, we need to draw a line in the sand. And this was in October, and I'm thinking like the first of the year, I'm going to quit my job. He's going to keep working because he was not licensed at the time. And so literally that was a Tuesday. Thursday, he comes home and he's like, I got laid off today. And we're like, all right, I guess off we go. Like we're supposed to start this thing. And when we drew that line in the sand, it was like, unless there's another plan, like this was our plan, you know? And so obviously felt like there was a different plan. And so we quickly pivoted and lived off of my little salary, you know, while he was trying to figure out green couch design. And at the point of that, we were literally like, he was like blogging and we were selling stuff on Etsy. We lived in a little farmhouse that was like family owned, and we got like a really great deal renting there. But, you know, we had no central heat and air. Like it was old. It was not a cute farmhouse. And so,
it wasn't what you see on TV where it's like, oh, this is such a charming little farmhouse.
It was the before. Yeah. We were just living in the before.
We're living in the before. When you see it on TV, we were in the before.
Right. Yes. And I say all that. I'm super grateful for the opportunity because we got to live next door to his like 90-year-old great grandma. Like it was hilarious. She was just awesome old lady, like survived the Great Depression, like all these things. So, you know, we're moving in and she'd bring us like literally like a carpet scrap. You know, it's like, I got you this rug for your house. And you're like, oh, thanks.
Awesome.
You know, but
That's
she's kept
so
it literally for years. So, but being in that house really like taught me to just be present. To like, if we can't host the party here, having the next big thing is not gonna get us there. And so it's like, how do we enjoy life here? Have friends over? You know, we're trying to like build a firm or build something, and like, how do we do that in a way that we're proud of, but also like not hide the fact that we're like literally walking to the mailbox, like praying for checks in the mail, like,
Yeah.
going through that whole season. So anyways, Kale literally, backing up was like walking around. We had no savings. We had no plan. I don't recommend this. And he found a bag of concrete. He's like, okay, free concrete. What can I make out of that? And we started, fast forward, we started, it kind of inspired just concrete, this concrete, that concrete pots, blah, blah, blah. And it turned into concrete jewelry. We started selling concrete jewelry, and selling around town, around Oklahoma City at several shops, which has been really neat to be a part of these shop stories that are still around today, friends that we're still connected with, amazing people, and to see their journey of 10, 15 years of growth and development has been amazing. And another like side thing of that was also like seeing these shop owners were a part of these districts that were growing, Yeah. And so here we are today seeing these districts that are now, oh, that's the Plaza district, that's this district, like, oh, everybody knows these things, but to see the inceptions of those things starting to happen and the people that were a part of those conversations was really, really cool. So yeah, jumped from, got to the point where literally we had shop owners. We were selling in some shops in Kansas City and like Wichita, Kansas, like kind of Midwest area, and trying to kind of getting to the point like, oh, should we, people are pushing us to go to market in like Las Vegas. And we're like, I can't, like, Kale's like out in the back shop, like making, like mixing some things and making this. And I mean, we were getting to the point where it was like, okay, either we need to go all in and really figure this out and figure out our margins and figure out the quality that we want to carry out through all of these pieces, or we need to step back and, just figure out what we want. And I think Kale was like, I didn't sign up to be this maker guy in the garage. And we all know with entrepreneurship, there's a grind involved that like, I don't think you can get away from. So I think just realizing like, is this where we want to do that grind? Like, I think we were like, we could dig in here, but is this where we want to do that or not? And that was a huge pivotal point for us. So
yeah, because if you're going to commit the time that's required to build anything of significance,
right,
you have to minimally generally want to do the thing, right? Like now, again, hard work. Yes. There's lots of aspects of business that suck and you don't want to do. But if the final product isn't like the dream and is like, oh, I love this thing, that's hard. That makes it so much harder on you. I talk about people with being purposeful, right? Like, so when you're more purposeful, it's like whatever you're doing, if it's something that you feel connected to, it makes it easier. Like, even if it's really hard, it makes it easier compared to doing a thing that you're like, I don't care about this at all.
Yeah.
It's almost like, oh yeah, I just, it's a way to make money and that's fine. But like, I'm not interested in like, devoting 80 hours a week to this thing.
Right. Yes. And it was hard. I mean, we had our friends that were these amazing artists were jumping from, they're like, screw this creative entrepreneurship, I can't do it, I'm jumping corporate. And we were jumping from corporate to like, we're gonna be artists, and nice. And just trying to figure out how all of that worked. And we did the products for really about 4 years, selling on Etsy, selling on this, trying to find our place. And there was 2 years there where we were both full-time green couch at home. And and then we started having kids. So there was like a lot happening in that season. And we had 3 kids, 3 boys under 5 years. And so it was, there was a lot.
That's 2 jobs right there. Good Lord.
Yes. So it was, trying to figure out. And again, I think being a husband and wife team too, like there were times where, was like, oh, I thought we were in the same car. I thought we were going the same direction. We're actually in 2 different cars going 2 different directions with our dreams and our goals and our vision, and having to, and, you start down a path of entrepreneurship and like, you both have to be happy to an extent in that direction and where you're going. And so I think we had a lot of moments where we had to like pull back, ask questions, figure it out. But, it was hard. I would say so. While I was staying home with the kids, Kale got an opportunity to go back into architecture. And that was a huge turning point for us, was like, hey, we really feel like we need to finish what we started. he needed to finish what he started and go get his license. So an opportunity came back for him to work at a firm. He jumped into that and was doing great, loved it. And then from there, he went basically kind of got poached from a construction company and commercial construction company. And, when I think, especially in architecture, it's like, you're supposed to die on this hill for, architecture's sake. Like we're supposed to be artists for artists' sake, and you're like, but I can make a lot more money over there. And I think Kale was definitely.
I got 3 kids. Art ain't paying the bills for the 3 kids here.
Yes. And just realizing the momentum we can get by going and getting these different experiences was really, we were just seeing the value of that. We always joked he needed to be like a master builder, and then the Lego movie came out, and when but he grew up farming. He grew up really having a desire for understanding how things are actually built. And so when this opportunity came up too, it was like, man, even if I go back into architecture, how much better. Yes. Yes. When he got his architectural license, we had everything is awesome Lego adult building party.
That's awesome. I love that.
It was awesome. So, but
okay, so we get all the experience, we get all these things going, and then you come back to Green Couch, or he comes back to Green Couch and say, okay, we are no longer just the maker. We are going to be a full design studio, right? Okay.
I think it's like, we got to pick a lane and we got to start making money.
Yep.
Otherwise, otherwise it's just a hobby that we do on the side. So I think in 2017, we started to, we got a couple of smaller commercial projects, and things started to kind of, find a little bit momentum. By then, Kale was almost had his license. So we were feeling a lot more confident taking on some bigger projects. With those bigger projects comes liability. So, and then really 2020, as everything's shutting down, at that time, Kale was working for a developer, and I was still at home with the kids, but still trying to grow Green Couch on the side and kind of figure out trying to go get clients. And so 2020 happened and everything shut down, and, Kale comes home and works from home / hey, we've got, 4 weeks maybe of pay, work from home. Instead of, we can sit back and enjoy it, or let's push on the gas and see where this goes. And at the time he was working for a local developer, so there wasn't competition. We weren't, because that was the other thing with working for different firms and different stuff, trying to find how do we grow this on the side, and do it in a way that we feel good about, that we don't feel like we're hiding a whole nother firm over here that we're trying to grow. So when 2020 happened, we started getting more smaller residential projects, just little additions, little kitchen, bath, kitchen, dining, living room, remodels, that sort of thing. And so things really started to grow. And I would say from 2017 to today, things have literally doubled every year. It's just been double. And from 20 to 22 is where Kale and I kind of looked at each other and we're like, all right, we're getting tired. We've been trying to figure this thing out, and just realizing we've got, again, kind of have to draw a line in the sand and be like, okay, what is our timeline? When are we willing to keep going? And when are we going to be like, okay, we're just going to take the 9 to 5 and enjoy life and go from there. So that's when literally we decided, because I was homeschooling the kids at the time, and I was like, hey, if the kids can go to school, I can be full time. And basically I was handling all the clients, I was handling all the communication. And so Kale would work his 9 to 5 job and then go get dinner and then come back to the office because everybody had left. And from 6 to 10 o'clock at night, I'd be like, here's your project load. Here's what, I need you to do today. And we did that for almost 2 years, and it was a slog, and it was really hard. But in 22 was able to jump to full-time Green Couch. So, and just continued to grow and build off of, I think a big part of our work and what we've tried to do is we're going about it as being a team. working with contractors, like how do we work together? We're definitely not trying to come in saying we know everything. We're the architecture firm. It's like, hey, we want to land this plane. We want to land it all together as the client, the contractor, and the architecture firm. And how do we do that collaboratively? And that's where we find a lot of our joy is in building those relationships that you want to work with over and over and over again. And yeah, it's just been, and just putting our heads down, being in our own lane and doing the work. And then, I had something else I was going to say. I totally forgot. It'll come back to me, but
No worries.
been,
so 22, you both are there. Then
yes.
You got to build a team, right? I assume, right?
Yes.
Like you have to, hey, because like we can't do this all alone, better together, which I love, right?
Yes.
So what did that look like? What did building the team or getting an office? What are all those things look like?
We were just like, oh shoot, we thought, oh, it'll just be the two of us. We'll be small, like, and then we were like, oh, if we ever want to go on vacation at the same time, we don't want to come back to a total shit show. And yeah, so just realizing, oh shoot, 2022, Kale, jumps off into full time. We're like, we made it. And then you realize, oh God, we're just getting started, just getting our feet under us. And yeah, we started to really go after some bigger commercial projects. We've been able to win some travel work. We've been able to win some other RFP, bigger city civic projects that have really given us the groundwork to plan to grow. We still do residential. We love working with custom home projects and like digging into the weeds with those one-on-one clients. But ultimately, by getting those 2-3 year contracts where it just has allowed us to hire a team, get people under us, and now that we've done it, as everyone says, you're like, I'll never go back. It's been not just for the flexibility of our team, but also to really have people to share the load with, to walk beside you and grow this thing together, for people to get behind the vision. And Kale and I have worked for different firms and had different experiences. And I think there's been a lot of firms that meant well, but their idea of like family friendly was like, yeah, as long as your wife brings you dinner and the kids can come up and see you, but they gotta like go on. But you stay as long as you want. That's their definition of family friendly. Or and like I said, I think culturally, when you look at the last 15 years, I think that was a big shift compared to what was even before. Mm-hmm. But I think a big part of what we're trying to build with our team is flexibility and schedule. So we work remote 3 days a week. So we're in office twice a week. And then, it's like, hey, you have a desk here if you need it. But otherwise, as long as you're getting your work done, you're staying on top of your workload, we're good. We do meet a lot on Google Meets and stuff like that. So that's been super beneficial, but really trying to figure out how do we build an architecture firm that gives flexibility. And it's not always easy. Like there's definitely times where, even Kale and I sometimes, our team, we've had one girl literally went to Bali in Thailand for like 3 weeks. Another one is in Europe right now. And, Kale was like, we got to let's let him go. This is what we're trying to build is different. And I'm like, I don't know, trying to be like, how's this going to work? But some of it, we have to try different things. Otherwise we're just going to keep repeating the same thing that we feel comfortable with, that we have seen done before. And, that's been a huge part of it's like same as growing a business. It's like, you almost want to fail fast. Mm-hmm. So versus never make decisions and then you don't actually grow anything. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. Because essentially business innovation, like growth, it's all just failing at stuff effectively, right. And then eventually finding, oh, I didn't fail at this way, so let's go do it that way. Right. And if you can do that faster, obviously, then you can get to the goal faster, right? That's essentially it. I think certainly talking to leaders all the time, they get this, but people that aren't owners specifically, I feel like that's lost on them. Of like, yeah, it's literally just about like can I withstand the failure that is going to inherently happen across the board? Because I've never met a leader that like, oh yeah, everything just went perfect. It was like I thought of an idea, I pitched the idea, people just kept knocking on my door to get more of it. Like I've never heard that story. And if you're listening and that's your story, I'd love to talk to you. Because
send me that episode.
You found the horseshoe or the Lucky Charms or whatever it is. So okay, so you got the team in place. Also culturally, you know, letting somebody go literally across the world for an extended period of time is not generally the easiest thing, but willing to try, right? Which is it's a cool thing. So what else? So obviously you did do stuff in Oklahoma City, but are you now breaking state lines, or what does that look like? What's growth in project wise look like?
Yeah. So, I mean, the travel work has been really amazing to just get to, again, with my background in branding and marketing too, it's like, what is the deeper story we're trying to tell, and how do we do that in space and design and create that whole experience is so cool. The idea of placemaking, and we're working on a travel center right now that's going to be for Seminole Nation. So that's just been really neat to,
Awesome.
hear their story, dig into the weeds of it more, and get to figure out how do we create a sense of place. Like literally this building that is going to be built is in a sense kind of in the middle of nowhere. So it's like it's in town, but there's still not, a ton there. And so it's like this could become a center, is going to become a center, a place for the community, like it's just been really neat to be a part of that story. And so those are the kind of projects that we get really excited about. We have our first out of state site visit. We're going to take our whole team to, and this is awesome. A project we're super excited about in Montana. This is again like really cool story. This couple, they bought this old brewery, and it's in downtown Kalispell, Montana, and they dabbled into all these different entrepreneurial things. Their story is amazing too in itself, but kind of have found things that are working, taking off. And so they're turning the top floor into a residential space, and then the bottom is going to be commercial and leased out. And so it's been, again, really cool to be a part of their story, to help them navigate all the budget swings can come really hard and fast in projects like that. And so to help everyday people that are just trying to like have this big vision and a dream, and trying to like figure out what it's going to take to actually get this off the ground. Those are really exciting things for us. And the stories there, again, it's like we get to be a part of this new chapter for that building, this community, for what this couple is building. It's really cool to be a part of that kind of placemaking. So
that's awesome. Similar story to y'all. If they dabbled in a bunch of different entrepreneurship,
yes,
finding the right path, which is cool. That's it kind of brings it full circle there. So, all right. So then, all that stuff is happening. What's the vision here, right? So now that you are, I'm going to say, officially a proven business. Like you are, no question about it. Y'all are real deal. You are a firm. There's no question. So now what's the horizon? Like what's the next?
It's a really exciting season honestly, and it's very humbling to be like, oh my gosh, we've really hit kind of our goals, at least, when we were like the little young ones trying to figure it out. And now it's like, okay, what do we want? I think, your first response is grow bigger, more. And I think we're really trying to not just, we have doubled every year since 2017, which is super exciting. We hit 7 figures this year. We're like rocking and rolling. And I don't see that just slowing down, but and super humbled and excited about that. But I think, we've always from the beginning tried to build a firm that, what do we say? It's like, we're not building a firm, we're growing a firm. Like we're not just, trying to like build something in 2 years and kind of take our hands off. It's like, we're growing something with intention. We want people to love working here. And we want to do projects that mean something. And sometimes that's not always, the most luxurious project or, but it's the most needed right now in the community. And that can be just as meaningful and impactful. And so I think being excited about what are the stories happening in Oklahoma City in these communities, and how do we get to be a part of telling those, whether that's through volunteering, through architecture, through design, through just yeah, like our business supporting another business. I mean, that's been the coolest part, like with this other couple is and one of my favorite parts is like when you get to meet these other entrepreneurs that are, like Kale and I were 15 years ago, trying to, go off a hope and a prayer, and hopefully they have a business plan and somewhat of a, because some people you're like, wait, how many cups of coffee do you need to sell in an hour or a month? And it's like they don't know, and I'm like, y'all already signed a lease, like like let's have a plan, guys. So there's been but getting to be a part of those stories and helping those entrepreneurs, even if it's just a permit set, getting you through the city and sending you on your way. It's still really cool to be a part of those young entrepreneurs and developers and seeing what they're wanting to go do. So yeah,
that's fun. That's like I said, that full circle feeling is, I don't know, that to me is where business gets more and more fulfilling when you can help somebody else where you were, in the past. That's, I don't know. And literally when we started the podcast, it was literally, hey, how can we just help other people not fall into the same pitfalls or like not pay the same entrepreneurial tax that you had to pay? Because if you could just help somebody just a little bit, man, that's so fulfilling. So
I feel that definitely from you, even just with the podcast, because I know you don't get paid the big bucks to do this, but you obviously love telling stories and love bringing people into this conversation, and that's really cool. And I see with the growth of our team, with everything we're trying to do, it's just been really, really cool to be a part of this bigger community that's growing in Oklahoma City with design and architecture, and it's just been really, really rewarding. I was thinking about what was it? Sorry, my brain's going into like 5 different directions, but it'll come back to me.
So you had mentioned being essentially contractor friendly. Yeah, I'll put it that way. What does that look like compared to what? And I don't want to label all architecture firms certainly being more difficult for a contractor, but what is essentially seen as that contractor architect relationship and how it traditionally has worked and how y'all are trying to make that a little bit different?
Well, I think again, like coming at a project as a team versus like coming in combative and like we're always right and you're always wrong. Coming in at it as like how do we're trying to do something different, and so how do, like in it, let's say in a certain detail, and so it's like instead of getting frustrated at the contractor because they're not figuring it out or it's not being done right, it's like how do we have conversations early on to support that contractor, so versus them saying like, well, I don't know how to do this, or who's the subs that are going to do this. It's like, hey, here's 3 people we've already talked to that could, execute this, and kind of how do we get into the weeds with them so that we can create something different, unique, and special. And we do it together as a team. And also like they're the ones having to source pricing. And, when it comes to actually like in the moment, getting that material here on time and executing that, the construction of it, how do we help, again, whether that's getting vendors, recommending vendors, bringing those relationships to the table, how can we help have those conversations? And so we're not holding on to the design so tightly. It's like, if they can bring a different material we don't know about, like, let's talk about that, but like, let's do that collaboratively, and let's do that early on so that we haven't shown the client this like great, beautiful, big picture. And then the contractors stuck having to execute this like dream, or they're the one having to constantly like chop it down. That's not a win for us. Like the client's not happy, the contractor's frustrated. So how do we all, for us, that's bringing the contractor in early, getting that pricing, base even square foot pricing early on, as much information as we can up on the front end. And then kind of letting the design follow that a little bit more, versus like us just going with this big pretty picture, which is fun to do, but to us, like, a successful project is how do we actually land the plane in the end, and can we do that all successfully where everybody feels good. You keep that momentum of excitement from the design, which is the fun, like, fluttery stuff, to actual, like, execution. How do we keep that excitement up throughout the whole project? So that's been a big part of our process, is how do we, for us, that looks like building relationships with contractors that want that kind of relationship, that are willing to get in the weeds with us a little bit, and then the clients that appreciate that sort of transparency from the beginning. So, and I mean, I do a 20-minute call, discovery call on our website. People can book it. And, as we grow, I don't know if that's something I'll be able to do forever and ever and always, but like you're talking about, I just want to be a resource for people. And
Yep.
I do believe that work's going to come back to us. And so even if right now, and a lot of people are like, I couldn't even get an architect's firm to call me back or talk to me, or, and so It's like, how do we come full circle and, like, start from the very beginning? Like, I just want to be a resource for your project. And if we're not the best fit, like, how can I point you in the right direction? So.
Oh yeah, that's a few things. One, give to give. Love that. You just I'm giving to give, and I'll let the universe shake out that in the long run. There, that's certainly an attitude I have in life. Yeah. But also the relationship between contractor and architects, almost like that visionary integrator connection in business, where it's like you can have great vision, but if you don't actually have somebody that's going to do the work, do the execution component of it, doesn't matter. But the same goes the other way. I'll do all the hard work, but if you don't have a vision, then it's like, well, what are you building?
And I think it's really easy to get mad at the person that's left having to execute that, when we get to be up here on the front end of the excitement and all this stuff. And it's like, again, how do we carry that excitement throughout the whole project? And I think that's having the money conversation as quickly as possible, so that nobody's left in sticker shock at the end or close to the end, hopefully. So
no, that makes total sense. This is awesome. This has been great. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So we are on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know, are people still on Facebook? I think so.
I believe it is millennials, I think, go to Facebook. There are actual, metrics to this, and I should probably know them better. But I believe it's, that and older, millennials and older. And then all the new generations or younger generations are no longer Facebook users, to my understanding.
Well, there we go. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and then our website, greencouchdesign.net. And would love, send me an email, say hi. I'm still checking all the things, and really excited to continue to grow our team. I was telling you, we just got we got an office, so we've been just enjoying settling in and finding our feet. So super grateful to be here. Thanks for everything.
No, it's very, very, very exciting. I look forward to, taking my pilgrimage to Oklahoma City and seeing you and the others that I've now come to be connected to. So love that. Anything else you want to tell the people before we say our goodbyes?
Please come so we can host you. And same thing. Like, if any of your listeners are ever in Oklahoma City, I literally, we would love to host you. Like you said, just having the conversation, getting to know other entrepreneurs, people out there that are doing amazing things and that care about the work that they're doing. Would love to. Please come to Oklahoma City. There's amazing things happening, and we're super proud of the work that's happening here. So
awesome. Well, listeners, this has been a ton of fun. And until next time, adios.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening to Building Scale. To help us reach even more people, please share this episode with a friend, a colleague, or on social media.
Remember, the 3 pillars of scaling a business are people, process, and technology.
And our mission is to help the AEC industry protect itself by making technology easy.
So if you think your company's technology pillar could use some improvement, book a call with us to see how we can help maximize your IT and cybersecurity strategy. Just go to buildingscale.net/help.
And until next time,
keep building scale.
Scale.